If you're sitting there right now in your little smug studio, you're making 6 figures a year, life is great, the studio's awesome, clients beating down your door, everything's successful that you touch, this is not the video for you. Go away. Go away. Go away. Anyone else still watching right now, if you have had no clients in the past to your studio, you're still trying to figure this whole thing out from the beginning, or you've had some success in the past, maybe you're doing this on the side and you've had some clients, but there's no consistency there. If every time you talk to a potential client, they just ghost on you, or they just go to the studio down the road, or they end up recording themselves, I know that can be frustrating. So if that is you, if you're sitting in that boat right now, this is the video for you. So let's have some real talk. If you can answer this question, you're gonna have a long and healthy career. If you cannot answer this question, truthfully at least, you're losing money every single day, every single week, every single month until you can really answer this question. And the question is this: why should someone record at your studio, or have you master their song, or insert whatever service you do here? Why should someone work with you instead of your competitor, instead of the studio down the road, instead of all the other options out there? There are so many amazing studios in America and around the world. Wherever you're from, there's a lot of competition. You know this, I know this, we all know this. But until you can answer the question of why should someone record with you instead of me, you are going to continue to struggle. This all comes down to something called differentiation. It's a big word. Differentiation means being different than the person next to you. And all that means is, what are you doing to set yourself apart? Every single person, whether you realize it or not, that is getting a client, they're getting it because they have differentiated themselves in some way from their competitors. Maybe they have a better relationship. Maybe their studio is nicer than yours. Maybe they have more gear. Maybe they have more experience. Maybe they sound better than you. There's a ton of different ways that they're beating you. But at the end of the day, you can still have some sort of advantage. So all is not lost. You still have a chance to find a way to differentiate. You don't have to have the most gear. You don't have to have the nicest studio. You don't have to be in the best location. You don't have to know every single person in your city. There are still things that you can do. So now you're probably wondering, well, what can I do different? What does set me apart from my competitors? Why should someone record with me? Well, first of all, chill out. I don't want you to doubt yourself. Let's actually go over some ways now that you could potentially differentiate yourself from your competitors, starting from the actual worst way to do it, but the most common way that I see it done, and that is through pricing. One way to differentiate yourself is to just lower your price, right? That's the easiest way to do it, right? If someone charges $100 a song, I will charge $50 a song. If someone's $1,000 a song, I'll charge $500 a song. I'll undercut my competition. Well, that does work. That does technically set you apart from your competition, but this, in my eyes, is only a temporary solution. This is great if you're just starting out, you're just trying to get a few clients under your belt to start getting referrals, to start figuring out what's working and what's not working, to just get some clients and some experience. But you cannot do this long term. You're not going to make a career out of differentiating yourself by lowering your rates. So that, in my opinion, is not a valid way to do this long term. So pricing's out of the question. That's not a long-term solution. So what's next? Well, there is a way that you can do this that's free. It doesn't cost you anything. And it's called being better. Surprise! If you can be better than your competition, you will win, right? You can maintain your prices. You can even charge more if you can be better. Now, this is great, but for those of you that are new, or for those of you that don't have the ability to spend your full time every waking hour getting better at this, that is also a solution that's not really the easiest one to do. It's very difficult to be the best. It's even difficult to be better than your competitors, much less the best. So where does that leave us? We can't be cheaper. We most likely can't be the best. There's very few who are the best, and we probably can't necessarily be better than our competitors, although that's obviously the goal. So if you're not cheaper, you're not better, what other ways could you be differentiated from your competitors? Well, there are 5 ways that I have right here for you that you can differentiate yourself from your competitors. And I'm just going to breeze down this list. I'm going to talk about each one, and you can just pick and choose. You don't have to choose all of these. None of these are going to work for all of you. But if you can pick and choose 1 or 2 of these and run with it, you can go a long way for just setting yourself apart from your competitors down the road. So the first way is just being faster. Turnaround times, getting songs done faster than your competitors, making sure that you're getting things done on time. If you can be faster than your competitors, this is a good advantage, especially if you're in an industry like mastering, or you're in an area where time is of the essence. being faster than your competitors can be an advantage. And if you were lacking on clients, if you're the person that's really desperate for clients, this should be easy for you because you can devote a lot more time and energy into one client versus someone down the road who maybe has too many clients, is juggling too many projects, and is just letting things fall through the cracks. If you can be faster than your competitors, that is one advantage and one way to differentiate yourself. You can even make it so that you have a guaranteed turnaround time of just say 1 day or 1 hour or whatever it is that you do. You can find some way to differentiate by doing it faster. Although, caveat, you need to maintain quality. So that goes without being said, but I'll say it anyways. The second way that you can potentially differentiate from your competitors in an easy way is just being more convenient. And so what I mean by this is being more convenient just means you're setting yourself up to cater to your clients more. So one obvious way to do this is to have a more convenient location, right? If your competitors are all located to the center of the city, having a studio in the center of the city is probably a more convenient thing, but that's not realistic because that's typically more expensive. But that's not the only way to be more convenient for your clients. There are a lot of ways that you can be more convenient for your clients. One of them being just providing, let's just say, gear or equipment for them to use in the studio. A lot of artists, they don't have great gear. A lot of artists, they don't have gear that's studio worthy. And just having things laying around the studio that they can use, that's convenient. Another easy thing to do to be more convenient for your clients is to just be flexible on time. A lot of artists are only available to record on nights and weekends. And if you have a day job, you're probably up the same alley. So if you can provide nights and weekends, be available for their time, that goes a long way towards just being convenient for the artist. And to kind of go along with that, is to just keep gear set up so that they can kind of pop in and out, and you always have the gear set up. Let's just say you have a drum set, always mic'd up, always ready to record. So if they only have an hour to come in and they want to get a song done on drums, you don't have to spend 3 hours to get everything mic'd up and sound checked and ready to record. They're just ready to go at all times. Another thing that you can do if you're set up to do this is to provide lodging for your artists. A lot of people, they come in from out of state or from another region, or even they just come in and they drink and they need somewhere to crash. Having a place for bands to lodge is actually very, very good way to differentiate yourself, and it's really convenient for the client because they don't have to pay for a hotel or they don't have to do a long drive late at night. This is easy for a lot of you to do, and you're just not making it happen. You're just not putting the bunk beds in, you're just not putting the cots down, whatever it takes. Just letting the bands crash there can be very convenient and be a good way to differentiate from your competitors. Another really simple, really easy way to differentiate yourself from your studios down the road, all your competitors, is to just focus on the relationship. All of your clients, they're people. They have their own hopes, fears, dreams, desires. They have their own goals. They are all working towards something that they want to do, something they're passionate about, and they put their heart and soul and life into their music. If you can just treat them with respect and dignity and give them the benefit of the doubt when it matters, if you can just be focused on the relationship, buy them lunch, do things to nurture the relationship over a long period of time, they will never cheat on you. They will never go to the studio down the road. They'll keep coming back to you regardless of whether or not the other studio is cheaper or more convenient or better located or has better gear or better facilities. If you really focus on the relationship and keep that tight and keep them happy, that is honestly one of the best differentiators you can have, and it's basically free. Another quick and easy differentiator is to just have better communication. Studios are notorious for saying one thing and then doing another thing, or not communicating something that they did, or misscheduling or double scheduling, or they send something to an artist and it's the wrong thing, or they never follow up on an email, or there's tons of different ways that things can fall through the cracks, especially for busy studios. So this is an advantage that you have as someone who is really hustling to make this happen. You can really set yourself apart as being different, as being better, by just being better at communicating. This means when you have a conversation with a client, following up via email with all the things you talked about. That means when someone is just asking for your rates, you're sending them a detailed email with the entire rate breakdown of your services, along with a what I call a high-class proposal, very nice, really well put together proposal. This is all part of communicating with your clients. This means when you finish up a project and you say you're going to send a mix, you actually do it when you say you're going to do it, and you communicate that with the artist the date that they're going to get their stuff. These are things that most studios don't do, and you can do this, and you can set yourself apart just by being a better communicator. And finally, the last and definitely not the least way to set yourself apart, to differentiate, to answer the question of why should someone record with you instead of your competitors, is to simply niche down. I talk about this all the time on the Six Figure Home Studio podcast. I've talked about this in other videos, but if you can really focus on serving one niche, whether it's EDM or hip hop or metal or hardcore or rock or rap, whatever it is, if you can focus on one specific niche, You can do everything that I just talked about today, except it's catering to that one niche. That means all the gear in your studio is really focused on serving that one niche. That means your entire website can be set up to serve that specific niche. That means all of your audio skills that you're spending all this time and effort and sometimes money developing and bettering yourself in it. All of this can be focused on that one niche, serving that one niche and learning everything there is to learn about that one niche. And if you can become a master at that one niche, there's no reason for someone to record with your competitor if that competitor is a generalist. If they're a jack of all trades and master of none, if you are the go-to person in that niche, you're the best at that one thing, you will not struggle to find clients if you can focus on serving one specific niche. So just to go over all those again, you can be cheaper. You can be better, you can be faster, you can be more convenient, you can be more relationship focused, you can be a better communicator, or you can just simply niche down. But whatever you choose, you need to be different. You have to be different. Literally just be different, because different is going to get you a lot further than just being the same as everyone else. No one wants a me too studio. Me too. I do all the same things as everyone else. No, be different. So the key to making all this work is to not get overwhelmed. Just pick one or two of these, focus on them. If you're brand new, don't worry about any of this yet. Just have this in the back of your head as you're getting started, as you're developing your skills. Just have this in the back of your head that, hey, I need to find something to differentiate myself on. And as I'm learning, as I'm growing, as I'm developing my skills and my abilities in my studio, to have something that I'm building to make myself different from everyone else. And make sure that you are not building your career, your entire studio, without answering the question, what makes me different than the person down the road? Why would someone hire me instead of my competition? So differentiating yourself, huge part of being a successful studio. You will not succeed if you do not differentiate yourself in some way, but that's only half the battle. In the next video, I'm going to talk about how to communicate those differences to your potential clients, how to make sure they understand that you are different and they're not the same as everyone else. So watch out for the next video coming out whenever it comes out. But if you found this helpful, you want to dive deeper into learning the ins and outs of business for your studio, I'd encourage you to check out the free workshop that I offer. You can go to the sixfigurehomestudio.com/workshop. And it's a workshop called How to Make a Living from Your Existing Audio Skills Without the Need of a Fancy Studio or Expensive Gear. It's where I'll walk you through three important things. The first is how to find more clients for your studio. The second is how to really sell your services in a non-sleazy way to your potential clients. And the third is how to position yourself as a premium service, and that's through something that I call the high-class proposal. I mentioned it earlier in this video. I cover that in this workshop. It's about 90 minutes long, so this is a very in-depth workshop. So if you want to watch that, just go to the sixfigurehomestudio.com/workshop. And again, that's 100% free. So until the next video, until next time, happy hustling, and thanks for watching.